Big Man. I'm here to show you beats and other cool things.
Hey, this is Big Man Beats, also known as Lithion, aka Bearded Sexy. Doing a video tutorial. Show you a little bit about layering drums on the MPC1000. And I won't get into like too much of the specific details about like attack, delay, sustain, but just a little bit about EQ maybe. Well, actually, I might not even get into that. There's a ton of stuff on the internet. I'll post a link up on the right to some information about layering drums. But just maybe a little bit about just sounds, just kind of blending sounds together to get maybe thicker drums or thicker snares. So I have, let's say, for example, this. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's just like a standard flat, like a real flat bass drum sound that was sampled from a bass drum. I think that's like that actually might even be the 808. I'm not even certain. But I want to make it sound a little deeper, a little more of a growl kind of to it. So I have tons of these hip-hop kits on my computer. I think I have one, I think it's called Lil Jon's Crunk Kit. Actually. There it is, Lil Jon's Crunk Kit. So like, I'll just listen until I find a deep, like right there. I like that kick, but maybe not the beginning. Maybe I just like that in the middle, So what I might do, I have that flat bass drum. What I can do is I can go to that 3000 kick, and I can go ahead and go to, oops, I'll go back to that so you can see it. Mode program. I just put it on like A5, and I'm gonna go to level, hit window, and I'm gonna adjust the attack. So like the attack adjusts when it hits, like when it pops, like like you can hear that, like this will kind of take away the arch, and there's a whole explanation. I could explain it, but I'm not going to. But anyway, it makes it sound sort of like that. So I might adjust the decay at the end, so it just gives you that thump, that pump. So what I do is I'll just resample personally. So, and then I'll just trim it up. Mode trim. Here it is, and I'll just trim up a good one. And just trim it up here. And then you go to that initial go down to 2, and then you just add that in. So see, it kind of adds like a more like, and I still have that like initial kind of pop from that flat bass drum, but I get that, like, I don't know if you can hear it, but like that would probably peak out, and it's probably peaking, even though it says it's not on my interface. But like if you just listen, you can hear that it's too much. So there's some stuff I can do. I can adjust the level on the second one. I can, like I said, I could go into the EQ, filter out some of that, some of that extra stuff. I could do a whole litany of things. I could take a high pass filter and bring it way down. Kind of rolls that top, that kind of punch off, and then I could go resample it again. See there, so it sounds a little less throaty, a little less, power to it. So that's just one example for like a bass drum. Let's say a snare, for example, or a clap. And this is, by the way, when you hear those real thick clap sounds, like you probably get them in sound kits, and you hear like I think I have an example of one somewhere in here. Yeah, club claps, stacked claps. Like whenever you hear stuff like that, like that's basically what they're doing, is they're just taking like a solo clap like this and this, and they're just layering them together. So this is, if you've ever heard the term drum modeling, like, or synth. If you ever heard the term like synth modeling, that's where you create sounds by layering synths and adding effects and what have you. This is called like drum modeling. This is modeling drum sounds to sound exactly how you want them. So it doesn't. It kind of adds like an element of randomness, an element of like, swing almost without having to get swing. And that was pretty stuttered. I would obviously have to mess with it until I got it just perfect. But you kind of get the general idea. So that's like a real basic intro to layering drums in the MPC 1000.